Get rich, women power.
Right, how are you? Oh, you have a new hairstyle.
We have the Japanese representative, Guyana.
Good morning. We, the Security Council signatories of the Shared Commitments on Women in Peace and Security, WPS, Ecuador, France, Guyana, Japan, Republic of Korea, Sierra Leone, Slovenia, Switzerland, United Kingdom, the United States of America, and my own country, Malta, reaffirm our commitment to ensure that the WPS agenda is fully and meaningfully integrated into all aspects of our work, and to amplify and support the crucial work of women peace builders and human rights defenders. Today, we are convening to address strategies for preventing conflict-related sexual violence through demilitarization and gender-responsive disarmament. We welcome the Secretary General's report on conflict-related sexual violence, which documents the role of arms proliferation and increased militarization in escalating conflict and heightening levels of conflict-related sexual violence, and in limiting women's participation and activism as human rights defenders, peace builders, and journalists. We are gravely concerned about the detrimental and disproportionate impact on the ineffective management, diversion, illicit trafficking, proliferation, disabling accumulation, and misuse of small arms and light weapons and ammunition on women and girls, including the exacerbation of discrimination, gender inequality, and sexual and gender-based violence. We urge all states to leverage the potentials of conventional arms control and disarmament treaties, instruments, and measures to prevent conflict-related sexual violence, including through fully and effectively implementing and reporting on the gender-related provisions of the Arms Trade Treaty by those parties that are party to the ATT, as well as the program of action to prevent, combat, and eradicate the illicit trade in small arms and light weapons in all its aspects, and the recently adopted global framework for true-life conventional ammunition management. We reiterate the Security Council's call for women's full, equal, meaningful, and safe participation in all levels of decision-making and in the design and implementation of disarmament, non-proliferation, and arms control efforts. By aligning national action plans on WPS and on small arms control, and by controlling and sharing as appropriate sex and age disintegrated data, member states can strengthen the gender responsiveness of national arms control policies and legislation. We are deeply concerned about the security risks facing women and girls in situations where peace operations are undergoing transition and phased drawdowns, and recognize the need for specialized capacities, including women's protection and gender advisors. We therefore reaffirm our commitment to ensuring women's full, equal, meaningful, and safe participation in all United Nations facilitated peace negotiations, ceasefire negotiations, and security sector reforms, and urge that provisions prohibiting combat-related sexual violence are explicitly included in these agreements as well as in monitoring frameworks. We underscore the importance of advancing gender equality within peace operations and through their mandates, including through CRSV protection mechanisms. At the same time, we must redouble our efforts to support survivors and survivor groups, strengthen the capacity of women organizations to participate in conventional disarmament efforts, and mitigate risks for women actively engaged in the fight against illicit arms trade. In conclusion, we underscore the importance of addressing the gendered root causes of violence. We reaffirm our commitment to addressing the nexus between militarization, small arms and light weapons proliferation, and conflict-related sexual violence, by adopting survivor-centered approaches and promoting gender-responsive conventional disarmament, we aim to mitigate the devastating effects of armed conflict on women and girls worldwide. I thank you. Now I would like to introduce our civil society briefer. As WPS shared commitment holders, we recognize the importance of consulting with women-led organizations and women human rights defenders and of amplifying their voices. It is therefore my honor to give the podium to our CSO briefer, Naimat Ahmadi, a Sudanese women human rights defender and founder and president of Darfur Women Action Group. Since April of last year, April 2023, the situation in Sudan has been characterized by widespread conflict-related sexual violence. The current conflict is an emblematic example of what happens when the international community fails to uphold women's rights and women's participation in peace and security, not only in Sudan, but across the world. Ms. Ahmadi, I will now ask you to take the floor, and she will now give us a few remarks and then take some questions before we proceed to the debate. Ms. Ahmadi.
Thank you, Minister. Good morning. Thank you to Malta for this opportunity. My name is Naimat Ahmadi, and I am the founder and president of Darfur Women Action Group. I will be briefing the Security Council today at the open debate on conflict-related sexual violence, and I hope to shine a spotlight on Sudan, where the UN has reported widespread, escalating, and ethnically motivated conflict-related sexual violence, including kidnapping, rape, and sexual exploitation of women and girls. My key messages to the international community and to the Security Council today is this: stop the war in Sudan. Stop this war that is affecting millions of my people, especially women and girls. Girls as young as 12 are being raped. These women and girls have no protection, no access to humanitarian or medical assistance, and no way to turn for help. Yet, it is also women who are on the front lines, bravely serving their people. Protection of women's rights must be central to the international community's approach to Sudan. Sudan needs a ceasefire now. We need protection of civilians, and urgent humanitarian aid must reach those most in need. I would like to note and wish to remember the Security Council that without the spread of weapons, the level of sexual violence we are currently seeing in Sudan would never have to occur. The warring parties in Sudan and their enablers have continued to violate the Security Council's arms embargo on Darfur. And I hope that at today's debate, Security Council members, Special Representative Patton, and other member states condemn the violations of the arms embargo and commit to ending violence in Sudan. I thank you. I look forward to take your questions.
Hi, Ms. Ahmadi. Margaret Bashir with Voice of America. You're here on behalf of, I assume, of all the women in Sudan. I know you're from North Darfur, correct? Can you just tell us a little about the situation there currently? Because we are hearing that the RSF is very close to El Fasher, if not already there. Do you have any information?
Thank you. Today, the situation in Darfur in general and in El Fasher is extremely dangerous, with constant attempt and attack by the rapid support forces trying to invade Al Fasher. And if allowed to happen, it will be deadly. And there will be unimaginable mass atrocities, because Al Fasher is now housing millions of refugees and internally displaced people who fled. There is no access to humanitarian aid or any medical assistance. Al Fasher is not a self-sustained city. There is lack of water, lack of food, and there is no place to flee to. Just recently, last week, 10 villages were torched to the ground. people were forced again to come to Al-Fashir, and now Al-Fashir is under the brink of attack. So it is really dangerous, and I hope that member state will take action before that happens.
We have, it's 10 o'clock, so we have to go into the council. It's 10 o'clock, huh?
Thank you very much. We need to go now to council.
Council,
Thank you.
it has to be something very quick, maybe?
I wanted to know, what do you do except talking to the press? What do you do to stop sexual violence?
We do have operation on the ground, helping women survivors, providing them with emergency medical counseling and also referral services, as well as also do documentation so that we can pursue justice for women one day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Certainly will name the press.